I made my first ever solo game for the GMTK Game Jam 2024. If you don't know what this is, a Game Jam is a game development challenge where developers have to create a game in a set amount of time. For the GMTK Game Jam, this deadline was set over 96 hours. However, I was at work for 2 of the days, which meant I had even less time. So let's see how I did.
To make a game that fits the following theme. Built to scale.
Okay. After receiving the theme, I jumped into Miro to write out some ideas. This took a little while, but once I'd decided on a general concept, I broke it down into 2 similar ideas and moved on from there. Happy with what I got, I wrote out the information in a design document to reduce the stress of deciding what to do later in development. To fit the theme built to scale, my game idea features a visual novel where your choices affect your relationship with a dragon, building a romance with a scaled creature. Not only this, but there is a puzzle aspect where you build a castle for the dragon, and the pieces you are given are either good, okay, or bad based on the choices you make. I'll explain more later, but for now, let's get back to the video. A Trello board came next to write out all the tasks I needed to do, and finally, with the time I had left in the evening, I made a menu system so I had something to build off the next day. Good morning. I started the morning by continuing the menu system and working on the audio system to have an adjustable master, music, and sound effect volumes. Once I was happy with the progress from that, I swapped my focus to one of the main game mechanics, the drag and drop system. However, after getting really confused and frustrated, I decided to take a break from programming and start gathering visual references. A lot of the day was spent swapping between different tasks. I worked more on the drag and drop system first, before moving back to the design document to flesh out the story and characters. As this was going to have a visual novel aspect, I had to decide how I was going to do the dialogue system. I had recently heard about a Godot plugin called Dialogic and thought that this would be a more straightforward approach than starting from scratch. And it was! Within a few hours, I had a system set up for each dialogue event, passing on to the next scene, and in the final scene, moving on to the drag and drop minigame. At this point, I had been programming for 10 hours, so I decided to take a break. Jamming for 10 hours, and then going for a walk in the woods. So, really nice. Now I'm going to walk down to the beach. Let's go to the beach, let's go run away. Stay, let's have a drink, found. Okay, back to the jam. I came back and worked for a few more hours, developing a point system to correlate to each option and therefore the castle piece you would get. Don't worry, I will explain this more at the end. By 10 PM I had made a really solid amount of progress and I was really proud of what I'd done, so I decided to call it a day. Okay, so I kind of just got up and got to work this morning because I have less time today and I really wanted to get some things done. I started off not doing the castle or the dialogue, mainly because I'm going to be writing the dialogue at work, so that's fine. That bit's kind of sorted anyway. It's just like the castle bit now really needs sorting out. But anyway, so what I've just done is added a resolution and full screen. This is literally all the code there is for it. And yeah, it works. It's fine. It doesn't work the best. I mean, I'd like it to be a bit better, but make it smaller than full screen. Ta-da! Unfortunately, the footage from the evening got corrupted, but I worked on putting the score from each choice into an array so that they could be stored and called at a later date. I then had an early night because I was tired after my shift and I wanted to get up early the next day. The morning of day 4 was really focused on trying to get the drag and drop mechanic working. It had been giving me a lot of trouble as I had followed a tutorial and I just couldn't work out how to adapt it to what I needed. I even called my friend to see if we could work it out together. but in the end, because of the time it would take to figure it out, I decided to scrap that mechanic. Definitely a learning point for future jams. After this decision, I swapped my focus entirely to dialogue, as that would be the main mechanic of the game now. Okay, so I've been a little bit all over the place today. Haven't been very good at recording anything. So I'm just going to run through a few of the things that I know I've done. First of all, this got a nice little menu screen-ish. It's not likely to stay like this, but it's still pretty cool. And I need to finish these buttons, but that's like a polish thing, you know, if I don't get around to it, no big deal. Credits I haven't done, but that's because credits still need to be written. I haven't finished that stuff. Anyway, and then you play, and it's the same stuff as before. This I've scrapped, so I just couldn't work out how to stop them from going over each other. So that has been changed to basically this one. So basically it's gonna build the castle, so there'll be like the main body sprite and then towers and the turrets build off it. Those sprites will just change, but because of the way it's laid out, nothing will have to move, it will just change the sprites out. That I haven't done yet, so that'll be like later tonight, because I really want to get art stuff done now. But anyway, here, from the scores that you get from the options, it randomly assigns it to one of the things, so that means that if you pick different options throughout the story, you're going to get a randomly generated tower. If that does mean that, like, if you get all of them right, then, or all of them the same option, you're not going to get a randomly generated tower because there's only 3 options. But the advantage there is like the best ending is, only if you get all of them good. I then spent the remainder of the evening finishing the dialogue and starting to implement that into Dialogic. The final morning was the most rushed part of the jam because I only had 4 hours left to finish the game and get ready for work. I started with creating the character sprites for both the princess and the dragon, as well as the background. I then went into Dialogic and implemented the appropriate sprites for each scene. The time-lapse you're seeing now is actually 2 hours of work because I was so focused and I forgot I was recording. Because it was all such a rush, I didn't complete the castle sprites and instead just drew an ending screen which displays the total number of points you got from the choices you made. Then I had to export the game for both exe and browser and complete the itch.io page. Now off to work, and I did it! Let's go! And with that, the jam was finished. I definitely learnt a lot from it, especially not to overestimate what I could do in such a short time. I was disappointed to not get the drag and drop system working, but it's on my list of projects to tackle for another time. So, how did I place? Overall, I came 2,347th out of 7,616, which I am perfectly happy with. I would have even been happy if I placed lower, because regardless of the score, I still made a full game by myself, which is enough for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment if you were in the jam too. I'd love to check out your games. Have a good day, morning, evening, whatever time it is with you, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!